dun.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
ATT's back.
Don't call it a comeback.
That could spawn out of nowhere. Yeah, we're back. Alien Theorist Theorizing. Case file 21. The Hollow Earth.
Yeah, quite a long hiatus for us, I guess. What's it been, a month?
It's been a month.
We've been taking shit on Twitter and online. We've been taking shit on Facebook too?
Facebook's been a little more supportive, I think, actually.
Yeah.
But
those jerks on Twitter.
Yeah, fucking Twitter jerks, man, just lighting us up.
It's a tough gig.
So, little updates. The studio is not yet complete. We're still in fucking shambles.
Okay, let me give you a quick update on the studio. I just started building it like yesterday because the inside of this house that I bought turned out to be more work than I thought. So that's what I've been doing. But it started. So right now I got a makeshift little bedroom here. I have about 15 square feet of space. Got Byron in here.
15 square
Oh,
space
shit.
plus me.
Oh yeah, if you forgot who we are, I'm Zell.
I'm Braden.
I'm Dan.
I'm Byron.
Yeah.
we are out of fucking
We're
practice.
rusty.
We got it.
Fucking rusty.
We got here.
Hey.
Anyways,
Get the wheels spinning. We'll be good.
Yeah, and I'm officially moved into Vancouver now. I'm settled in to the fucking lower mainland. This rainy hellhole of traffic.
what the fuck? What the fuck are you even doing out there?
Secrets, man. Secrets.
Honestly, this guy won't tell me what he's doing. He's moved there for something. I'm guessing work.
Hunting lizard men.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
he's
hot on the trail.
I'm making the joke he's in Men in Black, but it started as a joke, but now I think it's probably true.
You
I
won't
can
even know.
neither confirm nor deny any involvement with the Men in Black.
And if you did, you just flash us. We would even know.
Yeah, you won't even remember. So don't fear us, jeer us. You want to get near us?
We.
You know what?
Don't fear us.
Oh,
We're fearless.
We did.
jeez.
We did.
About the MIB.
That's the second time you've rapped some type of MIB song in the last couple
yeah,
of weeks.
we were on the podcast with
Getting jiggy with it.
The something cast.
yeah, something cast. We went and did one with them. That was fun. I love those guys. So
We
they're
did.
listening. Check out the something cast.
Yeah, it was fun. We talked about our favorite and least favorite alien invasion movies.
Yeah, as always, we came ill prepared.
So ill prepared. Started off as a train wreck, but I think we recovered at the end. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I like those guys. They're nice guys.
They were good. Yeah, it was good guys. I've listened to a few podcasts now, so it's good stuff. Talk about, man, pretty much movies, video games, comics, you name it. I think they just talk about it, and they're
Touched on a little.
they're pretty good.
Space news.
Oh, I forgot about space news.
I know. Well, it's a good thing you forgot because get yourself ready for this.
Wow.
I don't really have much for space news. There's a 40% chance of minor G1 class geomagnetical storms.
Oh wait. Does that mean auroras?
That means auroras or chances of auroras June 25th. So chances are when you listen to this, you should have been all... We tell you every fucking time, keep those eyes on the skies. So if I'm telling you now that it's on the 25th and this doesn't come out till the 29th and you're like, oh, fuck. Well, we told you at the end of the last one, keep those eyes on the sky. So that's your fault, not ours.
Dicks.
It's a fair
That's
comment.
on you.
You know what we got to do? We got to ask for help on space news because we're you're slacking most of the time.
Well, I'm fucking busy, man. I'm fucking-
And so give us some space news.
yeah, fucking... It's tough.
I think I read somewhere scientists they observed two massive black holes colliding with each other, so that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I did read that too. I wonder if I can pull that up. I did read something about that. I was fucking. Oh, the fucking Britain left the EU. That's not really space news, but
Well, yeah,
Brexit.
there's been some shit go down. That's
Yeah.
that's a big I don't even know what that means. I haven't really looked into that, but that's got to have massive implications on the whole
balls.
fucking thing.
Idiots.
It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, it's probably like not the best move financially, but in the sense of like global powers wanting to unify the government, it's probably like a step in the direction that the powers that be don't want.
Yeah, I've heard that now. That's like a strike against like the New World Order kind of thing, like the global government. Like once one leaves, now the other ones are unsure. It won't be that, like it won't be long. Like the whole thing might just dissolve in the in the short run. But fuck yeah, man! There's another Orlando shooting. That's nuts.
Babies getting eaten at Disneyland.
Yeah, fucking gators eating.
Yeah.
Oh my
that
god.
happened. Well, gators died though.
the-
That's even. There's like 6
end
gators
times.
died just to find the bloody remains.
Okay, yeah. So they went and shot all the gators
Yeah.
around, and did they find like the boy
they
inside
did
one?
6 later. They shot 6 gators until they found the remains
So wait,
thereafter.
there's that many
This
man-eating
needs to be a
gators.
movie.
There's that many man-eating gators at Disney World.
But the thing was, it was a man-made lake or dam or body of water. It was made by man.
Wait, does that mean they're man-made gators?
Not quite. There's no gator-human relations going
There are
on.
animatronic gators that escaped from Pirates of the Caribbean.
and no, they're not robots. But
Jurassic
yes,
Park.
they found their way. They find water. Those things move over land real well, and they found their way to this lake.
I've been around.
Coming from
65.
Byron, our resident fucking gator.
Gator expert here.
Look, I'm from down Victoria. I'm a long way from the gators, thank God, because those things actually would scare the crap out of me.
Our senior gator correspondent. Oh, fuck, that's funny.
But yeah,
Yeah, the Orlando one's fucking crazy too. Like, it's a little too soon to touch on, but like, there's a lot of fucking weird information coming out about that one.
There's a lot of weird videos. Like
I've seen-
there's obvious either staged actors promoting the terror in a way that like meets like the media's needs. I'm not saying it was fake. I'm not one of those people. Like I keep hearing that one too. Like, oh, it was a fake shooting.
It's
But
not
I
fake,
don't.
people died.
There's like witnesses saying there's more than one shooter, like multiple witnesses. You don't see any CCTV footage or like cell phone footage from inside.
And surely in a club of that big with that many people, there'd have to be something there.
Man, SWAT team took 3 hours to respond. Like,
Mr. Conspiracy told me he saw a video. Well, again, this is coming from Mr. Conspiracy, so, fucking take it with a cup of salt. He said that he saw a report where they were saying there was a witness saying that someone was holding the door closed from the outside so people couldn't
I heard
escape.
about that.
And then it cut the feed right after they said that.
okay, I've heard that like an extended version of that story is where someone was holding the door shut. This is what they said, and then they're called into the Alex Jones show. And they said the guy ran out there to escape, but it was a dead end, so he like held the door shut. That's a story that he held the door shut so more people wouldn't get out and they would get trapped and shot. That's what he said. I don't know if those people got shot in the end or not, but there was a report saying the SWAT team might have accidentally shot a bunch of civilians at the same time. I don't know. I haven't really looked that much into it. There's a lot of shit swirling around.
I saw footage of someone put up there, and this is going back on the whole stage thing, where there was like news footage of people being dragged away from the scene, but someone had gone on, I guess, Google and realized and looked at the footage and gone, they've actually dragged the victims back towards the shooting. They were 3 blocks up, or 3 shops up, and were dragging back towards the scene of the crime, essentially, opposed
fucked
to
up.
dragging them away to safety. Like,
And those, I think, like those were the staged actors. What was that?
Oh, sorry. I forgot it's recording.
Yeah, I think those were the staged actors, and they just like did it quickly for the news to make it seem like to get something on the news right away.
but see, like,
And they didn't think about it, what they were doing, because the guy who looks shot, the video pans to the right, and then as soon as he's kind of out of frame, you see him just like step down and like walk. It's like really, it's weird. It just looks like a staged actor.
it's that, but like in a crisis situation, like shit's going down. There may have been ambos everywhere, and they were throwing people in the back of just trucks and driving them away. Like, it was pretty hectic. And who knows? It may or may not. And again, it's goes on the whole conspiracy thing.
I think that could be a whole episode on its own, but we promised Hollow Earth, so
Let's do it.
Just get right in.
All right.
Who wants to kick this one off?
well, Dan, come on, buddy,
All right.
drop some
All
knowledge.
right, I'll sum it up. Right, Hollow Earth theory, first proposed in the late 17th century by Edmund Halley, the same guy who named Halley's Comet. He theorized that the Earth was not what we believe now, just magma surrounding a solid iron core, but he believed that it was an outer shell with two concentric rings on the inside, and these rings all rotated in opposite directions, and they all had their own magnetic poles. He used that to justify why sometimes people got anomalous compass readings. Like if they went to a certain area and the compass started going all whack, he was saying it's because the magnetic poles from the inside concentric rings were interfering with the compass readings. So he used that to kind of justify that. And with inside the rings, he said that, or he also theorized that they could produce their own atmosphere and that they might be able to support life.
Fucking rights. I'd be down for it.
That's the first time
The first
you see
account, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first real emergence of the theory of Hollow Earth was put forth by him, but there's a whole bunch more. There's a couple other theories. After that one, another one came later, and they changed it to, instead of concentric rings, it was just an inner sun. Like they had an inner sun that had a day and a night side, and then the inside was just it's just hollow, except for that sun hanging in the middle somehow.
Because I've read that one because
I've
from
heard
like
about
the
that
readings
too.
I've done is like the Earth produces like heat from heat flow from an unknown origin. Like people don't know, scientists don't know. That's what I've read, anyways. Kind of that same inner sun thing.
Well, yeah, the center of the Earth is crazy because we actually have no idea really what's down there. We just have theories. There's science to back it up, but no one's ever seen it. Like in space, you can like predict with the math, like gravitational pull, and then you can witness it on a telescope. But in the center of Earth, like you just
No one's ever been that deep.
We've been. I think we've been the borehole. Fuck, what was it called? The Kola
Russia?
super deep borehole. Yeah, it was like 12.3 K.
That's
that's
nothing.
like
That's nothing.
what's the mantle of the crust? Or the crust is what, like 50, at least 50K thick, and then there's like, man, you have the mantle, which is like another like 2,000 thick, and then the outer core, inner
But
core.
again, where do these come from?
And yeah, this is the science that we're given right now.
And the leading theory is solid iron core.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
I think so.
solid iron nickel core, I think they say, with like an outer core of like molten of the same kind of stuff, and then it goes out from there.
So why iron? Does anyone know?
because it's the densest. It's the densest material. It all just kind of
the
collects
rings,
into
yeah.
the middle.
Yeah, it's like the quantum, or whatever you call, whatever the like. What's the theory of like how
Atomic?
atomic the electrons and stuff, how they bounce around from level to level. They eventually get like iron is like the hardest, like the one from Gravity. I think that's what they kind of deduced what it was. But
Okay.
I think that's also what it also helps produce our magnetic field. So happy to have that.
yeah, like that's the one thing like with the Hollow Earth theory that I've been looking to find, because I love the theory of either the Earth is hollow or there's giant cavities in it.
Right. I mean, they have the one cave. What is it? Vietnam, the one that has its own ecosystem inside of it.
Oh,
It's
fuck,
crazy.
yeah.
It was a tiny hole on the side of the hill, and they went in, and it was like massive inside. Whole ecosystem. There's been another one just recently too that found like underwater cave that there's these gold cod that just and nowhere else to be found, like a whole unique species to that environment. And it just makes you think that like we've only just touched on so much of what's underneath there that surely they go further.
Yeah, I mean, if the Earth isn't hollow, I mean, a huge network of interconnecting caverns and stuff like that, I don't think that's out of the realm of reason. Like, I don't think that's
not.
too hard to believe.
No, because if we're just finding those ones in Vietnam, these other giant like super cave systems, how far do they go? Like, we can only go so far into those. We can never actually explore the full depths, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, some of the more far off theories is that with the Hollow Earth, there are beings that live within the Hollow Earth, right? Super advanced societies or extraterrestrials. Those are all kind of my favorite ones that I like hearing about. It's always the fun ones.
Yeah, well, that goes back to Operation High Jump. Like, the Nazis made contact with these supposed Aryan beings coming from the inner Earth, like an advanced species inside the Earth, and that's kind of the theory is they got the UFO technology from these advanced beings, the Aryans they called. Maybe it has something to do with the Aryan race. I don't know.
Yeah, going back to Operation High Jump, that's a big one for support of the Hollow Earth theory with Richard E. Byrd, who headed up that legendary polar explorer, headed up Operation High Jump, and his diary, I put that in quotation marks because I'm not 100% sure. I've tried to look it up. Like, I've read parts of it, and I've tried to look up who found it and where they got it, and it's kind of hard to figure out where it came from.
Yeah,
but it's saying that, the trail kind of, and he claims in his journal that he was forcibly, his aircraft when he was flying over the, I think, South or North Pole, I can't remember exactly.
It's up north. It's up north.
Up north, so North Pole.
Yep.
His craft was forcibly down, he was caught in some sort of a tractor beam, pulled down, and he was greeted by those Aryan beings who were basically told him that they've been living there for millennium and that they've seen human beings progress to the point where they're now harnessed the power of the atom and they need to knock it off.
Yeah, the research I did, his name Bird came up a lot in all this Hollow Earth and navigation, because his whole thing, he was one of the big pioneers in navigating and mapping the Antarctic, and he was going around, and one of the things was him flying around, and he found this patch of earth that was green and had these animals rolling around or roaming around like mammoths, where it should be just snow. And he documented this stuff, and this is what I found, and that it was not the norm up that area, and it should have just been snow because he was so far up, and there's this big open area, and it flattened all out, and he came down, and it was like he was pulled down and had to make a landing down there, and that's kind of where his journal just sort of ended, as at that stage. And brings a lot of questions, but it does draw down to this whole different area and bring it down.
That was fucking the best explanation of that, of the Admiral Byrd encounter. It was awesome.
Fucking Dick Bird.
Fucking Dickie Bird. But yeah, his whole theory, that's what the central sun theory then, because then it would be a whole entrance of the north and south, or one or the other at least, with the central sun. So he would have been, I think the theory goes, as you come to the North Pole, the magnetic north, or wherever it would be on the Earth, I'm not a pilot, but wherever this entrance would be, the curve would be so slight to start that you wouldn't notice it as a pilot. Like, gravity would keep you it would seem at the same, I guess, level, and you would just kind of enter the Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
It's like, it seemed, it's a far-fetched tale for me, personally. But it's fucking cool to think about. I don't know. Prove me wrong.
1943, German Navy Grand Admiral Karl Donitz stated that the German fleet had built the Führer.
Donitz.
They had built for the Führer an impregnable fortress at the other end of the world, and in the Queen Maud's Land in Antarctica, later named Neuschwabenland. Neuschwabenland. And basically, this guy states that he's like, he states that they had reached the interior of the Earth and they did not consider coming back.
Oh yeah, I've heard. I thought it was
Carl
Unger. Carl Unger.
Yeah,
That's his tales. Yeah, they went under the ice into these underground caverns and they reached the inner Earth. And the letter was supposed to be that they decided they weren't going to come back.
Are we all just waiting?
Who was groaning then?
Who was groaning?
That was me.
You know what? I'm just going to leave that in. That's just a fucked up edit. We had a quick meltdown, then we fucked up trying to punch in, and
I gave away some state secrets. We had to delete it.
Yeah, fuck.
Conspiracy
on its own. Anyways, talk about Carl Unger. They supposedly went under the ice. They found the inner Earth. It was beautiful, and they didn't want to come back.
Yeah, Dan had started saying something about not only recent, but in 1700s.
No, I was saying, besides all the recent theories, I mean, the Hollow Earth kind of theory or belief goes back, thousands of years into human history. I mean, plenty of ancient peoples all have myths or creation myths where people either came from under the earth or they hid under the earth during some sort of cataclysm, or about meeting beings from the underworld that these people live down there. So, I mean, if it's been around that long, is it?
That's the thing. It's not a new thing. Like the research I did suggested, like Tibetan, the Aztec, Buddhist, the Hindu, that all of these ancient religions and civilizations had some sort of scripture or paintings of these inner earth people coming through and making contact with them and then going back down and having some sort of gateway to the inner earth. So like you said, Dan, it's not a new or a common thing. Like, it's been around for thousands of years.
Even when you look at it that way, when like civilizations and shit like that talk about the underworld, we always look at it in such like a weird Christian religious, like, oh, they mean hell. But some of these things predate Christianity talking about that stuff. So like, maybe what they're talking the underworld is the center of the earth where there is a second sun heating up and it's really hot and there's an inhabitable area. And like, we are so far lost that information.
Yeah.
We've misread it.
I think if you look back, like ancient wise, the Buddhists, like in Tibetan stuff, they called it Agartha with the capital city of Shambhala, and like these ancient like blue avatar beings would come through the cave and make contact with their Dalai Lama. He was like their connection on Earth.
So the dude in the Avatar movie?
Well, they call it
pretty much.
Jake Sully?
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. But like that theory, that's one that got like that's the one with the map. It says like Agarth, like the inner Earth with the central sun, and it's supposed to be. When they go about it scientifically, they say like, oh, how would you deal with gravity? And they said, well, okay, it would be the balance of gravity and centrifugal force pulling it away. So like the Earth pulling it in on itself and also spinning away would create the crust with the central sun. I'm not a scientist, but that's how they try and back up that kind of theory.
And now, didn't you? I'm pretty sure it was you showed me that YouTube video of them spinning water in space.
Yeah, you can search on YouTube. It's just astronauts in space spinning water in a vacuum, like not vacuum in zero G. So they do a big drop of water and they put, I think it's like orange peel or some type of like light solid, and they start spinning it. And the spinning motion slowly creates like almost like a hollow center with like a bunch of bubbles and like hollows in this spinning globe. I don't know if you can extrapolate that all the way to like a solid Earth forming, but that's the only video evidence I could see of anything.
That's pretty cool.
What's that?
You would think you should be able, in some sense, to extrapolate that.
Yeah, like in my mind, I can. Like I can see like, okay, you have this. If you go by how we know it, like okay, I'm personally, I don't like the absolutely exactly hollow Earth with like the huge like central sun, maybe not, but just the Earth spinning itself. I could see they're just forming like huge voids in the Earth itself, like either huge caverns or huge tunnels. Like I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean it's what the fucking Matrix Part 2, giant orgies. Center of the Earth.
Yeah, they climb down Zion. Yeah. I think on the last podcast we were beaking that movie actually too.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I could see it. Like I don't know about the hollow thing, but definitely huge
I
caverns
think it's just a
and
matter.
caves.
Yeah, like I don't know about the inner sun because I mean that's the only thing I would be like. Well, how do they get light? If there's some sort of civilization that lives down there, are they adapted to living in the dark, or are they just, I mean, maybe they're just like lizard people with the big eyes, like from the what the fuck's that one TV show, The Land of the Lost? Those creepy lizard people. You guys ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just
Long time
hiss.
ago.
They just hiss at people. Yeah, that's it.
My Mr. Conspiracy has a friend that does that same thing. We've been trying to get him on. We've been trying to get him on the show forever, but he won't come on. We call him Nagini because he's the lizard person.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
popped up a few times.
100%. So do you grasp some of this theory that extraterrestrials maybe use this? Maybe it's not necessarily hollow Earth, but it's like a tube that runs through the poles, where extraterrestrials use it to make a jump to light speed.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've heard that.
Right.
I've heard that theory. But I think I might have talked on that one before. As them, yeah, the tunnel through. If you take that ball of water in space, it forms a tunnel right through.
Yeah,
If that was Earth itself using like the center mass of some type of accelerant to get to light speed or some other jump to hyperspace or something. Science fiction sounds awesome.
Yeah.
but
I mean, yeah, if you used, I guess, I mean, it takes a lot of energy to create that kind of thing, but the fact that a massive planetary body like the Earth and using its own like kind of gravitational pull to bend or help, whatever, maybe it's like a jumping off point, like it does most of the work, and then they just have to add in like a little bit or some sort of gate technology or something, and then they just punch through it, and
yeah, I don't know.
like
I love this.
Big-
I love the theory of Hollow Earth aliens and like in the caverns or underground cities or underground bases or wherever they may be. To me, it kind of connects like a lot of things. Like we've been talking about since, if you've listened since the start, we've been talking about how like the pyramids they can't be built the way we've been taught. It doesn't make sense. We've done it before. It's like 1.2 million stones weighing tons and tons. We feel like that was like an ancient civilization built those using some other type of technology because they knew they were going to be wiped out almost. Like let's say every 6,000 or 8,000 years there's a cataclysm event on the planet, like a flood or a asteroid
Right.
strike. So the only way to stay safe is they find they're advanced enough that they can build underground, and they kind of just live there
And hide.
and weather out the storm, so to say, right? Like that, I don't know. That makes sense to me. It just makes sense to me. Like it all kind of connects. Like I don't know. For me, I don't know. Put it together for yourself. What do you think?
it's like it was a rudimentary way for them to preserve all their knowledge, and we just haven't cracked it yet. Like what like it doesn't make sense for the pyramids and shit to fucking add up to pi and get like within a couple decimal points of light speed and like shit like that. That's too much coincidence. That's someone leaving messages.
Well, yeah. Like I think there's messages definitely encoded. But the more I kind of look into it, have you ever watched like the Michael Tellinger stuff
No,
on like like vibrations and frequencies?
no,
Well,
I haven't.
anyways, it's pretty good. You can watch the first few episodes for free. I'm gonna give a free plug on Gaia.com. Boom.
Nice. Boom.
Anyways, like he kind of talks about the way those pyramids are shaped. We kind of mentioned it when we did our pyramid case file, but they resonate in like a really weird way. Like they have like the golden ratio and stuff. So it all has like connection to like sacred geometry, and these kind of sound vibrations and the certain materials create power in a way. Have you heard that before? Have you guys ever heard that kind of theory? Like
I've heard of that. Some of those, like the ancient temples, either with like kind of Angkor Wat or any of the big ones that they find, Aztec temples, they have some sort, or they produce some sort of frequency that people, even like Stonehenge and places like that they produce some sort of either vibration that some people are sensitive to, or they produce some sort of electromagnetic field that can be felt at some times.
Yeah, like I think like there's the way however the Earth is, if it's hollow a little bit, or if it's solid like we know it, or if it's completely hollow, however it moves creates energy, and it like vibrates through the earth at certain points, and where they exit, like a lot of these monuments and these pyramids and all these like temples are built. So it can't be like just a coincidence. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, I would go with either whoever built them or who was building them at the time either knew about that, or maybe somehow just humans are more sensitive to it, and they're like, okay, this is a place we should put it here. Like it just feels right, you know. It could be something like that.
Yeah, they had some type of like resonance tool where they could sense like where it would be, or something. Like this had technology. I feel like this had really good technology, just completely different than we know it. Like they could, if we go back to like these Buddhist monks, there's stories of them. They can levitate stones, like these huge fucking stones, using all these instruments at certain like resonant frequency of the stone on certain. So they'll do it they'll do it at 400 hertz, and they'll do it at 800, and they'll keep doubling it till they get the perfect amount, and this stone will start to levitate, and they can guide it like wherever they want.
Like cracking a wine glass with your voice.
They use like
Exactly.
dubstep music.
If you got the frequencies just right, you probably shatter the stone. But
Okay, I'm gonna let a secret out for all our listeners. I don't know if anyone yet has done it, but I came up with this name. So if someone's done it now, I actually came up with this a long time ago. I was gonna start a dubstep band, or does just one person do dubstep? Is it just one person?
I think it's usually just like one producer. Yeah.
Okay, one producer, and you should. I'm giving you this is gold. Start your dubstep band or whatever the fuck you call it, and just be called the Chumba Wub Wubs.
Chumba, wub, chumba, wub, 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 chumba.
It's like great. Chumba Wub Wub.
Fuck, I don't even know. What were we talking about?
I actually had a question, so
Levitating?
it's perfect transition.
Okay.
So with the Hollow Earth, do they feel it's just floating crust, or do they still believe in like the diverging and converging plates?
It's a good question, man. It's a really good question because I know they try and do it scientifically by saying like the pull of gravity is countered by the pull of centrifugal force just at that point where the crust is.
Yeah.
So what happens in that crust, I guess, I don't know. It's a theory.
Most of the things I'm seeing is like the crust is at least, most of them I think agree, like 800 miles thick. Like the shell between whatever, the space between solid outer world and inner world is 800 miles. So I'm not sure if that's, enough room to support shifting tectonic plates. I mean, that makes sense.
See, my biggest issue with shifting tectonic plates is that whenever like I've been taught that theory, and they're like, yeah, this is like it fucks up with my concept of time, because I always think, well, if they're constantly converging and diverging, have they done that so much that like a full continent has gone and something completely new has come out, right? You know what I mean? Like, has a continent ever just reset? Like, we don't fucking know how long. You know what I mean?
Like when they rewind the clock and they say like, okay, we got North America, and if you rewind it, it slams into Africa, and then they all kind of slam into each other and make one.
And then they say,
if you went back
Victoria's
even
gonna go underneath BC eventually, right?
Yeah.
For long periods of time.
Yeah,
like if you rewind that further, does more stuff come out? Like, do you know what I mean?
But that's what they talk about
we have
with
no fucking
like,
idea.
And I'm going to be very personal here with Australia. That's where they're saying that Australia, like everything was one massive continent at one, and Australia broke away so many years ago prior to the rest of the continents, where we have so many animals that are very unique to Australia that they're not found even close to anywhere else. Where you look at, I guess, your North America and Europe, and you've still got bears of sorts.
Oh yeah, well, like I completely agree with plate tectonics. Like I think that's a thing.
Yeah.
But
well, I think that
on like the hollow Earth crust, I don't know how it would work. Really, that was your root question, right?
Yeah.
Does it levitate? Does it?
Well, like I don't know. Maybe it's just the same thing. Maybe it's maybe the science we have right now says it's so thick, but maybe the material's different, and actually the numbers are actually way less. So maybe the crust is only that big, and fuck, who knows, man.
Okay, let's. Oh, who's am I talking?
Go ahead.
you guys want to talk about the pictures I like are the 1970s ESSA, a project belonging to the Department of Commerce of the United States, gave media access to images of the North Pole taken by the ESSA-7 satellite on November 23rd, 1968. And if you pull up those photos all show a giant dark circular mass, which I can only describe as what appears to be a void at the North Pole.
I've seen the pictures.
Son.
I don't know. That would be.
Yeah,
it would
I'm
be.
pretty sure I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they show like a big like dark void, like on like a hole, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not a lot of those pictures. And
I think most satellites are like they have to be, there's like a kind of forbidden zone, like they can't fly over the North Pole. Like no satellite's allowed to fly over there in case. I mean, it's still like kind of Cold War holdover where we were worried about the Russians plotting missile courses or flight paths over Antarctica and the North Pole.
And that's one of the things I saw
I
too.
think that's still a thing. I can't remember. I remember hearing about it.
No, one of the research I found was flight patterns of a satellite that suggested that there was a gap, that the satellites were flying around and weren't, like you're saying, Dan, not allowed to go over, like a dead space that was restricted. And it'd be great if we had someone who knew more about it and were down in Antarctica and stuff and refer or
we call the situation, Byron, when we're looking for the answer, but we can't find it. What do we call it? The hotline. Let's pick up the phone.
Call the hotline?
Remember that was Mr. Conspiracy? Didn't
Oh,
he
yeah.
say that?
No, look it up.
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 Well, I did look it up, but I
got
couldn't
something
find
here.
it.
Just
You
look it
like
up. We can't find it, but look it up again.
Look it up. Fuck Mr. Conspiracy. What a fucking boob.
He was supposed to come tonight, but he bailed.
Oh, classic Mr. Conspiracy. Yeah, but looking at these pictures, like the only other thing that I could say, if it's not a void, some of them are so perfect, circles in black, that they look as if the photograph has been redacted, like something's been blacked out.
Taken right out.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, okay, well then, like why they need to black something out? Like, I mean, so it's, to me, like these pictures are hard because I'm like, I've never been in North Pole, so I can't really say either way. Do I want to? Fuck yeah.
Love to go.
Go up there and check it out. I'll be the first one to tell you if it's a fucking hole up there.
Should be fine once the polar ice caps melt, beachfront property up there. Should be okay.
Yeah, it won't be long, right?
Yeah, it'll be fucking gorgeous up there.
Big water, big beachfront.
I don't know.
No, it's a fucking interesting fucking pictures, those ones.
I think one of my favorite theories is when I was going through, there was this one reporter who claimed to be in contact with beings that he called like the elder race. And basically what their story was, like, these beings came from a different planet. Their planet was either failing or something. And they came to Earth, and they got to Earth, and they realized that the sun, our sun, made them age prematurely. So what they did was they burrowed into Earth's crust and established themselves a civilization there. And so to help support that, they constructed these robots. And there's like good robots and bad robots. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing.
Okay.
There's good robots. There's good robots and bad robots.
Keep going,
And
man, keep going.
the bad robots produce some sort of like they like to torture people like humans. Like the elder races at this point, they've left Earth. Like they left Earth, went somewhere else, but they left behind the robots.
Right.
Oh.
And the evil robots like to torment people by like producing like they make voices that can be heard by people, and people claim to be able to hear these voices and things like that. But to kind of tack that in with like human origins, some people say that like humans, the way that we are, like we're not supremely adapted to Earth's conditions. Like the sun causes, if we're out in the sun for too long, it causes sunburn,
Cancer.
allergies, all kinds of stuff like that. Like we're not as adapted. If we're a species that evolved on Earth, we should be better able to cope with the conditions.
I totally agree with that. And like Australia again, going back because I can. There's whole cities in Central Australia where people live underground because it's just too bloody hot. In winter, it gets too cold above the surface where, believe it or not, it doesn't snow, but it gets cold where they live underground. They use the Earth's warmth to survive and heat themselves. And in summer, where you're, 50 above, 40 above Celsius, that they live underground. And Kalgoorlie is one of the famous ones, an opal town, and everyone lives underground. And yes, they come up for their vitamin D and stuff, but who's to say that there aren't civilizations out there that can get these vitamins, or they may not need these vitamins, and just live solely underground? Like there's humans at the moment living underground. How deeper do you go? I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe they were an important part of like the origin of the human, like maybe we are related to them or something like that, but that they grew up underground and either we're offspring or mutants or something.
Yeah.
It could be like that.
Yeah, it's super weird because like I know exactly what you're saying. Like we're super adaptive humans. Like we can live everywhere because we're good at we can use like animal skins to keep warm. We can adapt to every climate. We can adapt from like freezing cold temperatures to the heat, but we can't just be out in our natural form. We have to like cover ourselves
right.
Yeah, we have to cover ourselves from the sun, from the elements. So like, yeah, it's weird. Like that one animal would just evolve out of all the other ones that can't live in their surroundings.
Not naturally, because
Naturally.
you've got, and
Maybe we grew up underground. That's
in the Hollow Earth.
there it is.
They made our way to the surface.
Yeah. Could have been like that. Maybe we are the robots. Oh, we are the underground robots.
Oh my god! Maybe we're just a simulation in the bad robots.
I'm waterproof.
Oh man! There's also another theory. It doesn't, not so much Hollow Earth, but that the Earth is expanding.
I have heard that
Slowly
too.
getting.
Like so that accounts for the continental shifts and stuff. Like all the continents were all together, and the Earth is expanding with the universe. So it's slowly like pulling apart everything.
So what? Eventually, it just pulls itself apart.
Why no? I don't. It's fucking. It's ever expanding, just like the universe. So we'll just continue to get.
Just
While
slightly
people are
bigger.
expanding, we're all getting fatter. So
But it does make sense because like the amount of waste we create and the dumps that we have, like the waste dumps, and that like we creating a lot of landfill, and it does expand, and then things break down and produce more. So in that regards, yes, it is happening
I guess
to a
technically.
degree, yeah.
Wait,
In that regards, but the whole
are you saying that if we add more garbage,
yes.
We're slowly
We're getting
extending
massive.
the land.
Yes. Add more garbage.
more garbage?
Must get more garbage.
it'll happen.
But yeah, Hollow Earth for me I like that better than the fucking flat Earth. I'll tell you that much.
That's fun.
That's fucking. I wonder how those guys are doing on their fucking cross Canada trip.
Probably pretty good. I got in a Hollow Earth battle on Twitter the other day.
Did you?
Not a
How'd that
battle.
go?
I said something about flat earthers. It's better to just leave them be. And then a flat Earth guy was tweeting at me, and then I told him to show me a picture of the ice wall, and I believe. And then he showed me some picture. He says not verified, and I said verify, and I'll believe.
Jon Snow.
But, anyways, the Hollow Earth. I don't know. I love the theory. I love it a lot. It makes a lot of sense for like Operation High Jump and UFO technology and all these other kind of stories kind of ties together a bit. Being hollow with a central sun, the science isn't there for me
The
on that
central
one.
sun, I agree. I don't, because again, with the central sun, they're talking about light and darkness. If it's a sun, it's again the whole sphere that we know. How does that work? More questions.
I'm down with giant caverns. There could have been some sort of underground civilization, and we just haven't found those caverns yet where they live. And that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like we can't at any point until like there's no way we know for sure. Either way,
we can't get far enough in to really know.
No.
You know what? The only thing that we have done that kind of maps inside of the world, but I couldn't really find a lot on, is called like seismic topography or something like that, where they take earthquakes from all over the world and well, if there's an earthquake on one side of the world, they will measure it on every point on the earth because the waves will reciprocate through the earth, and it kind of gives them a rough dimensions of what's inside, depending on how dense the rock is. Like if it moves really slow, it's probably iron, or if it moves faster, it's probably some type of limestone. So they can kind of like map, and so
that's cool.
So
that's neat.
The farther inside the Earth goes, they kind of see that it goes faster and faster, and then when it hits the center, it kind of like dissipates and is like twisted by the magnetic sphere of like the solid core. So that for the science for like inside Earth like that, I lean toward, because I can't find anything that backs the actual hollow Earth. But yeah, as far as like caverns and stuff from the centrifugal force and the gravity acting against each other to create giant cave systems, caverns that have like a let's say a neutral climate, like always a certain temperature with airflow and who knows what, how they would grow stuff down there or like survive. Either they were that advanced when they went down, or they kind of just, I guess, adapted to it as they were down there. I'm not sure.
And that's the big thing. Like, science shows us that animals adapt on Earth, humans adapt as well on Earth, and we're continually finding these small little holes or gateways, doors that turn into these amazing, grand opening caves of stuff and water. The Earth, the water as it is, the oceans. We know very little about the oceans. How far can we go down and still find this deep down? Like, there's so much we still have not yet discovered.
Oh yeah, the oceans are insane.
We're just unable to get down. Are the gateways down deep, deep, deep? Like,
they very well could be, because they always say that UFOs emerge from the water. So maybe these alien bases are just under the ocean in an underground cave, hidden. It's a perfect shielding from all of planet's like disasters, pretty much.
Yeah. It's the safe layer. It's the safe house for aliens. Just let you know. It's filling in some state secrets. Now that I'm with the CIA.
Is that what you're doing?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Can you give us any hint to what you're doing?
No.
no.
Simply no.
Long story short, no.
No.
Off the record, will you tell me one day?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Get better at saying that.
Yeah. Well, they're still teaching me. They're still teaching me stuff.
Still in training.
Who's teaching you?
I can neither confirm nor deny any teachings of any kind.
They're teaching you well. You're learning.
So, yeah. So that's Hollow Earth. I don't know if we have any more to say on that. Really. Any more? Touch on?
I don't know. So.
I don't know. No.
Nope.
The Earth is round.
That's 100%.
As far as I can tell of all the science I can find, it's round. It has caves. It has gigantic caves. It's probably thousands unexplored. Even more will never be found.
Please,
and then in our lifetime, at least, until we get some other type of technology that can get down there and really take a peek. But
the other big thing I read, and I don't know, I can't remember if we touched on it or not, is they're talking about when meteorites hit and earthquakes and stuff, where it's like the bell effect, where
it kind of rings like a bell.
The vibrations continue. Again, is it because it's hollow, or it's the mantle and there's like the ocean underneath that keeps vibrating? It's another big conspiracy or just I guess, unknown. Is that the reason why, or
Yeah,
that's what I was looking at too?
Okay.
it's weird. I think if it was actually hollow, someone could have found some type of good evidence that we could just look at and be like, yeah, that's really, really good evidence that could be
This
hollow.
bitch is hollow.
But there's really...
Yeah, I'm more on the, if it's going to be hollow and the way the cave systems work, I think more of like a honeycomb situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these interconnected honeycomb
Where,
structured
like,
caves.
It's not a total sphere on a sphere, like layers where there's a totally hollow area, not connected or anything like that. With the cave systems that we have found at the depths we have found so far and are able to explore, surely there's more deeper again that we can find and are able to, down the track, once we have the technology, get down and someone can be bothered going down that far. But I think more along the lines of, yeah, it's like some kind of honeycomb situation where the Earth's been created, and you look at that stuff in space where it spins around and creates that tubular thing. Like, we rotate it. It kind of makes sense. Like,
It makes sense that the Earth will not form completely solid, in my opinion.
yeah.
And there's nothing really to disprove that as of yet. If I had the resources,
I mean,
I would go.
there's no
I would
re-
do something
yeah.
to try and figure it out. But
Yeah. There's no reason that I don't think that people or beings could have not lived underground. I mean, they're finding new underground cave complexes where people lived over in the Middle East and in those areas. They find these entire cities, like huge complexes
Oh,
that
yeah.
house thousands
Who's
of
that?
people
Bloke-
and like everyday life, and they live down there. I mean, if that's what they could do with technology from their time, or from using no electricity or anything like that,
Back in
if there
the
were
day.
beings that did come to Earth, and of course, if they came to Earth, they wouldn't be adapted to our planet's atmosphere. Maybe it's better for them to live underground, so they could just use their technology to build this underground, but we never find it yet.
I love it. I love the theory. I love it a lot. I'm going to stay on top of it. I'm going to see whatever else comes up.
Constant updates.
Constant updates. There'll probably be a part 2.
Most likely there'll be a part 2.
Yeah, I could dig on part 2. That'd be fun.
Should we get to some shoutouts and some updates? Oh, if you're coming down to visit, are we going to do a podcast down here?
We'll do a normal one when I come down there.
a normal one?
Should
Whoa.
we?
Without the multiple Skype interviews.
I'm kind of torn about what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it because chances are we won't do it anyway, so it'll be fine. Just in case we get a real weirdo or something. Anyone who listens from Vancouver, you want to come to the podcast? Tweet us. Maybe we'll make it work. If you're a super weirdo, we'll just pretend we can't make it work.
I'm pretty accepting of super weirdos.
Yeah,
To a
we
point.
had the flat earthers on.
Hey, they had their theory. What can you say? Let them have it.
Fucking theory, Jesus.
You know what? The best argument I had with the flat earther I've ever had was, you know what?
It's interesting, though.
Everyone thought it was flat once. Then people thought it was round. Maybe everyone's wrong, and it's just a simulation.
It may
Who
still be
knows?
flat.
Okay, Twitter shoutouts. I want to give a couple of twat-outs to Shitter.
Twat-outs to Shitter.
Twat-outs.
Are you kidding me?
Just twat-outs to Shitter.
Let's just cut that back, start again.
Oh, there it
and
goes.
This is what you guys get for being so mean on Twitter. Now,
Go.
Let's give out some tout-outs to Shitter. Okay.
Okay.
Madison _ ATL. Always being nice and making us want to do more podcasts. Thanks, Madison. We love you in Atlanta.
We do love you.
Yeah. Who else has been messaging us? Secret Transmission. Always everyone from #Podern family. Always good to us. Thanks for being patient. Well, not you fucks on Twitter. Always grinding my gears.
And there's a handful.
Handful.
No, we're gonna try and be back more regular from now on.
Yeah. We'll try. We're gonna try. It's gonna pick. There probably won't be as long.
Make a solid effort.
There's not gonna be a hiatus the length of this last hiatus.
No, not going to happen.
That's probably not gonna happen now because now we're set. We're settled in our areas and stuff. There's no more moving, so we've got more time to sit and hash these things out. Do we know what we want to do for next case file?
No, we got to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
We could do a Men in Black episode finally.
Pine Gap.
We're going to talk about it. No
Oh,
problem.
well, if you're coming down to Vancouver, maybe we'll do a little special one.
Yeah, we'll do something.
And if you live in Vancouver and you want to come on the podcast, the rules are you have to bring the topic. So if you live in Vancouver area and you would like to come on the podcast, send us a Twitter message and what kind of topic you'd want to do, and we'll be in touch with you.
That's it. Yeah,
Sounds good.
that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. And Byron, you're coming down tomorrow?
Yep.
Fucking cool. Cool.
It's
And
happening.
Dan, you're not coming anytime soon?
I mean, I'll be in the U.S. I'm leaving tonight, going back to the U.S. for 5 weeks.
Hey, we do have some.
Okay.
We have some fans in Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
not bad.
any fans from Virginia, you want to hashtag Ask Dan in person? Hashtag Ask Dan up on a little. Maybe you can make a personal appearance at a Starbucks.
Yep, I could, or Starbucks, or Renaissance Fair. I like those. Those are fun.
Yeah, Dan loves his Renaissance.
Like getting hammered at Renaissance fairs.
Getting hammered. He's talking about blacksmithing.
That too.
Okay, so any other? You got any shoutouts on Facebook?
Nope, I don't. Sorry.
No, I haven't
Sorry,
heard-
Facebook.
You know who I haven't heard from in a long time?
Who's that?
2 people. I haven't heard from Ivan since he gave us the new Power Hour, and we forgot to give. He did a new Power Hour theme. The last Power Hour was Ivan's creation.
Yeah, sorry, Ivan. We forgot to shout that out. You definitely made that, and it's sweet.
You killed it. And then what happened to the Berg? I haven't heard from the Berg.
Oh, well, you know what? I had a drunk encounter on Facebook with the Berg.
Oh, really?
Yep.
How was
She's
that?
doing good.
Oh,
Yep. She was gonna go to Pemberton. Maybe I told her about the utter display of human filth.
oh.
So maybe she goes. Maybe she doesn't.
Bird.
Anyways.
Word.
The Berg's the word.
Okay. Well.
All right. Well, anyways, that's case file 21. Keep those eyes on the skies.